We now cross live to the Union Buildings in Pretoria. SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko is there. Very good morning to you, Samkele. Thank you so much for joining us. A very momentous occasion it will be today. What's expected? Just run us through the program and set the scene for us, if you can.
Essentially, Simpiwe, South Africa is commemorating Freedom Day, where in 1994, streams and streams of South Africans lined up to cast their votes for the very first time to usher in a new dawn of democracy in a country that was ravaged by segregation and apartheid in one domination during that particular era in the country. Whom deserved basic services were not getting those particular services. As South Africa commemorates Freedom Day today, it commemorates Freedom Day at a time where South Africa is one of the most unequal societies in the world, where there is economic segregation of the black majority within the country, where the Freedom Charter has not yet been implemented to its full capacity, where some South Africans are still faced with not getting the basic necessities of life, where they're struggling with the basic access to water, access to electricity, despite the government having done much more than what the apartheid government did in a number of years. Just in 30 years, they've been able to give South Africans basic houses, low-cost housing, at about a tune of about 4.2 million South Africans have been given this basic necessity of an RDP house, which costs about 168,000 rands. But South Africa today stands as the most unequal society. It also stands in an era where South Africa has reversed in its non-racial character. Just yesterday, when former President Thabo Mbeki was speaking at the launch of his book, he questioned the non-racial character and the Rainbow Nation, whether it's still on track or not, where you've got a number of political parties that are retreating to only represent their particular demographics. These are some of the issues that President Cyril Ramaphosa, when he delivers his address to the nation here at this commemoration of Freedom Day, will have to contend with current contemporary politics, where South Africa is highly racially divided and economically divided.
And do we know who some of the guests are? And well, when it comes to international guests, do we know who will be forming part of the guest list?
At this point in time, we're not yet sure who will be forming part of the guest list that will be coming to commemorate this particular Freedom Day. I've seen a number of musicians who've played a critical role in the liberation struggle of South Africa. Lady Smith, Black Mambazo, will be here to commemorate this particular day and to render some items as South Africa commemorates this particular Freedom Day. We've also seen that the Minister of Justice, Ronald Lamula, who plays an integral part in South Africa's democracy, will be one of the keynote addresses in this particular commemoration, with the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, giving this particular keynote address, which will look back to the 30 years of governance. Many people have staggered it in three approaches: an era of building between 1994 going towards 1999 in the first election of former President Mbeki, an era of economic growth between 1999 going towards 2008, and from 2009 going down to about 2008, that was an era of regression, an era of hollowing out of the state. And between 2019 going up till today, some have dubbed it the era of rebuilding and reconstruction of South Africa and the rebuilding of state institutions, particularly when you look at the state of municipalities within the country, which is the local interface between the people and the government at a local sphere. You look at the state of Johannesburg, you look at the state of the capital city, Tshwane, which at some point was one of the best run municipalities within the country and the world at large. You also go forth to the city of Ekurhuleni itself, which is facing economic doldrums. You go to Nelson Mandela Bay, Gqeberha, which is on the precipice of destruction within that particular municipality. You go to the municipality of eThekwini, which fails to provide the people of that municipality after the floods with water. Sometimes if you have electricity, you don't have water. If you have electricity, you don't have water within that particular municipality. And you look at the economic situation of people in rural areas like deep rural Vemba, Mulamlela. You go to deep rural KwaZulu-Natal in Umshwati, Eastern Cape, Mbizana, where people are failing to put food on the table.
All right, Samkele, thank you so much for your update. We'll chat to you a little later on. Samkele Maseko there, a political editor out at the Union Buildings in Pretoria.